What's good? It's your boy Fannon. All right, man. I'm going to cover something that I heard about earlier today, which was Luis Ortiz talked about the fact that he believed that he was lowballed against Anthony Joshua. Daniel Dubois speculates as to why Jarrell Big Baby Miller popped dirty and said something to the effect of, provided he had enough time to prepare for the fight, which obviously is not next fight. But so I guess he said in the future that Daniel Dubois would fight Anthony Joshua. You've got Michael Hunter in the run to fight Anthony Joshua. You got Andy Ruiz. Yeah, is it Andy Ruiz Jr. in the running to, man, who cares? Okay, and that's gonna be that's my take on the matter, man. Who's Anthony Joshua gonna fight next? And my answer is, who cares? If it's not Deontay Wilder, if it's not Luis Ortiz, who cares? Point blank, period. All the conversation going about who it's gonna be, who cares? Okay, if he was gonna fight Jarrell Big Baby Miller, who cares? If he fights Manuel Char, who cares? If he fights Dillian White, who cares? Who cares? In the heavyweight division, there's only one fight that people give a fat rat about, man. And that's Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. Period. That's it. You got 3 belts, you got 4 belts, the WBA, the WBC, the IBF, and the WBO. Let me make sure I said that again, that right. The WBA, the WBC, the WBO, and the IBF. Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua have all of them. If they're not fighting, who cares? Who cares who Anthony Joshua fights? I don't believe Anthony Joshua. This whole conversation is a big ass smoke screen that might have been empowered by Jarrell Big Baby Miller for popping dirty for every known performance enhancing drug on the face of the earth. God dog, man, the dude tested positive for WD-40, whatever he was on, whatever that crap is that you spray. You spray to make sure your wrench doesn't rust up. WD-40, IPO, what is the other one? HGH, whatever, man. The dude tested positive for like dang near everything possible, trying to get an edge for Anthony Joshua. So I'm completely cool with Anthony Joshua fighting whoever he wants to fight in the next fight on short notice to make that, for his defense of his title, for a voluntary defense of his title. Whatever's clever. But I'm not buying into all this nonsense about who's the next guy. Will it be Daniel Dubois? Will it be Michael Hunter? Will it be Andy Ruiz? Who's it's going to be? It doesn't matter who it's going to be, man. It doesn't matter at all. The only thing that matters is who it's not going to be. And who it's not going to be is Deontay Wilder, because Anthony Joshua don't want to come off 50-50. when it's completely and utterly obvious that that's what it's going to take to make that fight. And honestly, man, I'm sick of it. I'm reading the news. I just got some feeds from a newspaper. God dog, what is this UK website that talked about something that Daniel Dubois said? A news feed out of the UK, man, talked about something that Daniel Dubois was saying. Now, when you have Daniel Dubois being brought up into the conversation, a guy that's clearly a prospect, when you know damn well the fight's not going to happen between him and Daniel Dubois, then all right, man, we're now using the who's AJ gonna fight crap, like who shot JR. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the early 1980s primetime soap opera called Dallas, but there is a big intrigue around this character JR and who shot JR, who's it gonna be? And man, who cares who it's gonna be? It's a sitcom, man. Wake me up when we know, so we move on to the next season. That's how I feel about who is Anthony Joshua gonna fight. As far as Luis Ortiz not taking the fight, I did a live stream on that, but I'm gonna let me share my thoughts on that. Okay, whatever's clever, man. If Luis Ortiz got a better offer and they said, look, man, just hold up, fight Deontay Wilder, and we're going to give you more money We're going to give you X amount of money for a match with Deontay Wilder. Okay, Luis Ortiz chose to take 2 birds in the hand instead of 1 in the bush. I mean, 1 in the bush instead of 2. No, I'm sorry. 2 birds in the bush instead of 1 in the hand. If he turned down Anthony Joshua for whatever amount of money that he said, if he just flat out turned it out, he missed an opportunity to fight for the WBA, the WBO, and the IBF heavyweight championships of the world. And that's something that he said that he wanted. That's something that he said that he wanted for a while. If he didn't take that fight and he really thought that he had an opportunity to get the fight, if he had accepted the initial offer and then went into a detailed negotiation for the contract, if that's what happened, okay, hey man, Luis Ortiz, if you don't have a better offer, you probably should have taken that fight. The big missed opportunity, though, in my opinion, is Anthony Joshua not fighting Luis Ortiz. Quiet as kept. There are several heavyweight boxing observers that I have a tremendous amount of respect for. One is Mr. Boxing Today. If you're not familiar with Mr. Boxing Today 2, the channel is Mr. Boxing Today 2. Man, this cat has got like 3 straight predictions right in the heavyweight division. And I've begun to rely upon him as I've always respected Mr. Boxing Today as somebody that knows and pays attention to the details, specific details related to the heavyweight division. So much so that, if there's a report out there that Anthony Joshua is going to fight Michael Hunter, Mr. Boxing Today is one of the few guys that will say, oh, well, this is the reason why I think Michael Hunter can't win the fight. But hey, man, he beat this guy and he beat that guy. He's he's a good fighter. He's got a lot of heart. He can talk about the strength and weaknesses of obscure heavyweight contenders. And just so you know, everybody outside the top 5 is an obscure heavyweight contender. If your name is not Deontay Wilder or Anthony Joshua, Dillian White or Luis Ortiz or Joseph Parker, pretty much you're an obscure heavyweight contender. I guess you could make exceptions for Derek Chisora and Tyson. Oh, I'm sorry. Obviously, I missed Tyson Fury, but you get my point, man. And Mr. Boxing Today is like, look, man, I picked Anthony Joshua by knockout over Luis Ortiz. Now, if he's correct, if Mr. Boxing 2 is correct in his assessment of a fight between Anthony Joshua and Luis Ortiz, then Luis Ortiz would be crazy not to have offered. Anthony Joshua would have been crazy not to fight not to offer Luis Ortiz every dime that he would have got that he would have paid to Jarrell Big Baby Miller, because he would have gotten more out of a win against Luis Ortiz than he would have got out of a win against Jarrell Big Baby Miller. He would have gotten more out of a win against Luis Ortiz than he would definitely get out of a Daniel Dubois, who for real ain't about to fight him anyway. So I'm not quite sure why, the UK newspapers are even putting that mess out. Because he's not going to fight him. Frank Warren is not about to throw away Daniel Dubois that far ahead of the curve, because Daniel Dubois has a chance, if AJ loses, to take AJ's place as the up and coming UK heavyweight without even fighting Anthony Joshua. And Daniel Dubois is a young guy. So all of this stuff, man, is like, look, can we please have the fight? Whatever the case is, man, can you please make Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder 50-50 in Vegas or in New York so we can cut to the damn chase? All right. I'm tired of the who shot John crap. All right. I do not believe Eddie Hearn. I do not believe Anthony Joshua. But at this point in time, dude, I am kind of with the cats to say, man, just make the fight. All right. Because we've got that going with Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. But get me right. I'm not saying just make the fight like Eddie Hearn wants to make it. Yes, we'll give you 90-10 with a one-sided rematch clause, and we're going to be fighting in the UK, and you're going to owe us your firstborn child to get this fight. And I'm not asking anybody to be stupid. But at this point in time, dude, it's obvious that it's obvious in the heavyweight division and it's obvious in the welterweight division. There is one fight that people are trying to see in the heavyweight division that people are really interested in. Everything else is just wondering whether or not the guy's going to get upset or beat before the big fight happens. The only question is there a landmine between Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua, and is there a landmine in between Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder? Other than that, man, just make the fight, man. Let the best man win. Get a rematch clause on for both guys. We get 2 fights, and if the one guy wins one and the second guy wins another, make a third. Okay? And let's cut to the chase. Same way as it should be with the welterweight division, with the small exception being that there's more than one champion. But there's no reason for that not to happen at the heavyweight division. Anyway, it is what it is. And with that, that's my opinion, and I'm out.